Hey you guys, happy Sunday. Coach Amy coming at you with our Sundays with Summit Health. I wanted to talk to you today about something that Jeanette and I had a really interesting conversation on. I was all panicked about our Zoom not converting. Karen saved the day with the old Google Help Desk, and we were able to figure out how to get my Zoom recording recovered. So Jeanette and I were still on there, and we ended up pre-planning her day and talking about breakfast. So something that Jeanette really struggles with is that she's not hungry in the morning, and for her, eating breakfast was really a challenge. So something that you may find, or that maybe you chatting with your coworkers, friends, family, is maybe you're not hungry. Some clients will report, I'm just not hungry throughout the day. And you could go all day without eating a single thing. In fact, my daughter is the perfect example of this. She could go, she's much better now because I've hounded her about it, but she would go until like 3 p.m, not eating a single thing, drinking coffee, but not eating a single thing. And she wouldn't be hungry. I don't know how on earth she functions like that, but that's how she wasn't hungry, so she didn't eat. So I want to talk to you about a concept that we're going to expand on, and it's a concept called metabolic adaptation. So something fun that a lot of you have discovered within the last couple weeks is understanding your basal metabolic rate. A lot of you have had the opportunity to do the InBody scan with Coach Ashley for Inner Drive. It's coming up this next weekend. Understanding what your body needs as a basic need. So your basal metabolic rate is the amount of calories you need on a daily basis if you were literally laying in a hospital bed. So let's say you have a dietitian trying to provide you with your dietary needs. That's what they would consider is your basal metabolic rate. What that's based on is it's based on your age, it's based on your height, your current weight, your lean muscle mass. It can also be based on your type of lifestyle. If you're a very active person, if your job is very active, those things can have an influence on that as well. Ultimately, if we, for years and years and years, have limited or restricted the amount of calories that we've provided our bodies, that can stifle our basal metabolic rate. And what that can create is it can create little to no hunger. So when I check in with our clients, and most of us as coaches check in with our clients, we're constantly asking, where was hunger at for the week? When are you hungry? Are you waking up hungry? And I know when clients are new with me and they hear me like jump up and down when they tell me they wake up hungry, I am just pumped by that. Why am I pumped by that? Because it's a sign that their metabolism is just fired up. I love that. So the first thing that I learned being a client of a nutrition coach was that hunger wasn't necessarily a bad thing. Hunger's positive. Hunger is a sign that our metabolism is fired up. It's desirous of more food. It's desirous of more fuel. It can be a really beneficial thing. What we don't want is we don't want hunger to be extraordinary, right? We don't need to be going to bed starving. We don't need to be hungry all day. That would be an extreme case where that's not a healthy place to be when it comes to hunger. And for that, we would probably need to increase calories, right? So what can happen if we restrict those calories that we're providing our body day after day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year, we can kind of stifle that metabolism. And the way I love to share it with Jeanette is we talked about a campfire. You think about a campfire or a wood stove. How big is that fire going to get if you put literally like one log on it? Here we go. You going to get warm by that log? Roast some marshmallows? No, like it's barely going to smolder. It's barely going to catch on fire. Now what happens, I got my pencil. What happens if we put all the logs on the fire, pretty soon that fire just starts raging. So that is our metabolism. And that is why, just like Coach Lauren talked about last week in her interview with her mom, that is why Summit Health's approach in working with nutrition clients is different than a lot of coaches. We work on a phase in the very beginning of you working with Summit Health, and that is understanding and adapting to that metabolic adaptation. If you are someone who has restricted calories or restricted food for a very long time, or maybe fad dieted, yo-yo dieted, those things can have a huge effect on your metabolism. So we need to understand that. We need to heal, grow, fire up, help, establish a healthy metabolism so that we can change that metabolic adaptation. And the best way to do that is to slowly give someone the right amount of food. And we'll touch on this a little bit more as we go, but my health coach, it's burned into my skull something he would always say: fat is burned in the flames of carbohydrates. It was very hard for me to eat and to adjust to eating enough carbohydrates when I first started working with a coach, because I just felt like I had learned that a healthy approach to nutrition restricted carbohydrates, and learning and understanding that a healthy metabolism can be fueled, fired up, and ignited with the proper amount of carbohydrates was so enlightening to me. And I just am so thankful for those two coaches working with me and helping me to learn and understand that. So something I want you guys to understand. I know I always want to use terms that you can relate to, and metabolic adaptation is something that maybe you don't care about, but ultimately what I understand that people care about is they care about being able to gain lean muscle. They care about being able to burn fat. They care about being able to perform well. If you are metabolically adapted, those three things are going to be a challenge. So if you feel like that is something that you are struggling with or have struggled with, reach out. We can definitely help. I hope this has enlightened you just a little bit, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your Sunday.